I'm driving tonight.
All right, and I'll tell you what, best of luck there, but let's get a little bit involved with the reason why we're here. A benefit race for you and your family. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, you know, I'm playing cancer. I'm going into some stem cell transplants here in about a week or so, and that's the plan. And the issue donations came up, and so we put it out there to the iRacing community. The amount of just members and friends and people I've raced with that have stepped up and just donated, and it's really allowed us to concentrate on fighting this cancer and kind of getting that behind us. And I just can't thank you enough to everybody who's helped out, all the way down to just everybody who's donated from $5 and more. We really appreciate it.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, the audience can know this as well. MorganSchooley.com is the place you want to go to donate. If you're watching this race here tonight on GlacierTV, get on over to MorganSchooley.com, push that donate button. Any amount will do. We'll get into the whys and what for a little bit later on. But Morgan Schooley, you qualified. So far, you're sitting in the top 10. What does it feel like?
I'm going to need some patience here. That turn 2 wall comes out in a hurry. I've been beating it down all night, so I'm trying to avoid it. It's a long race, and just there's a lot of fast guys in here, and we just got to see what happens. This will be great. We're going to get up here.
I'll tell you what, we're not going to bother you anymore, but
in 2001 was an ill-fated move. We're going to run through the grid, however, and on row number 1, it is Ray Alfada along with Brian Schulberg. He's on the outside of row number 1. Row 2, Stephen Gilbert and Kevin West. Row number 3 is Matt Spangler and Dalton Baldwin. Row 4, Mikey Spangler and Davey Wilson. And then in row 5, the guy who we're all here for today, Morgan Schooley and Jonathan Goke, handing it over to JD for positions 11 through 20.
You bet, starting 11th in the number 69 machine, Drew Lanzaro on the outside of him in 12th position. In the number 50 car, Randolph Kenilworth in 13th position. The 92 car, Chris Lanini. I hope I pronounced the names right. Brian Tedeschi, he'll be starting in 14th position in the 29 machine. Starting 15th in the 62, Eric Eisenbeck. In 16th position and a 00, Josh Harrington. 17th position belongs to the 85 car, Joshua Friedrichs. And in 18th position, the 98, Kyle Guerri. And in 19th position, in the number 12, Kevin Tozinski. Jeffrey Lapalmi in the 88 machine will start 20th, Will.
And then handing it a little bit further back through the field in row number 11, you have the 73 car of Chris Ostrander and also Ellis Stevens from Club UK Ireland. In row number 12, Mike Goodson and Fred Masters talk to Fred a little bit later on as well. Row number 13, Vic Greenwood and Anthony Fredericks. Row 14, Michael Wynn and James Hollister. They are your 28 qualified drivers on time. Then you have Ian Hand, Jason Stevenson, Martin Termine, Colin Keister and Ryan Wells. He will take up the rear of the field. And very quickly, before we go, Green, JD, handing it back over to you.
All right, and I'll tell you what, 100 laps on the board here tonight. Let's send it down to pit road real quickly. Dakota Ehrman, associate producer from ETV Live, joining us here. Dakota, what are we looking for from the crews here tonight?
Well, guys, definitely going to be a lot of four-tire stops when you guys when you see this coming down pit road. The car is really slipping and sliding. That's what we've heard a lot of here recently, especially with this Generation 6 car at Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully these guys can hang on to it. We have a good race here.
And Ray Alfalla, he's going to come around off turn 4 when the pace car takes that trip down pit road. He'll be picking up the green flag for the first time here tonight. Your front row up here, Ray Alfalla, Brian Schoenberg. I'll tell you what, these two are the two cowboys here tonight. I'll tell you what, they are both pro drivers here, I believe, with the iRacing.com series. I believe they participate in the DWC here, Will. But I'll tell you, Ray Alfalla, Brian Schoenberg, looking backwards from them, I think they're going to have their hands full. Stephen Gilbert, Kevin West, Matt Spangler up here, your top 5 on the get-go here, coming around into turn 3, getting ready to pick up the green, Will.
Indeed, yeah, and Ray Alfalla has had a difficult season so far in the iRacing.com NASCAR World Championship Series. However, the pace car currently working itself through turns number 3 and 4. Any moment now, he is going to make that hard left turn down towards pit road, and we'll be racing here for 100 laps, a little under 150 miles here at Texas Motor Speedway. The field bunching up nicely. The pace car about to make that turn down towards pit road. It does so now, and as it does so, the green flag is now in the air. We're racing at Texas Motor Speedway, and it's a good start by Ray Alfalla there as he gets cleared down into turn number 1. JD.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a long night here at Texas Motor Speedway. 100 laps on the board, just getting this thing started, single file all the way back, Cowboy. Pick it up in the 10th position back here, the 08. Jonathan Goke up here was on the top side. He takes up a position, almost tags the wall coming off turn 2. But I'll tell you what, looking back even further than that, getting single file here pretty much. I think these guys just going to kind of cruise, put it on cruise control, ride it out here a little bit. Usually the race doesn't start until about 20 to go here, Will.
So Ray Alfalla leads lap number 1. He has himself a 2-car length advantage right now over Brian Schulberg, but he's closing it in as they work themselves down the back straightaway once again. Kevin West currently sat in the 3rd position, Steve Gilbert in 4th, and Dalton Baldwin rounding out your top 5. You have yourself a 6-car breakaway right now. The number 22 car on Matt Spangler starting to fall back a little bit. In fact, you look all the way from about 7th through to about 12th position. Those guys getting a little bit more spread out, but Michael Spangler now looking down to the inside in the number 21 car. In fact, he's on the outside line. He's got the 29 car right next to you. Looking down to his inside. Looks as though that 29 car is trying to hold the bottom, but getting a little bit loose out there, JD.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the 21 machine of Spangler, he's let about 3 or 4 of them go already. This might be working into his strategy here a little bit. Just kind of put it on cruise control here at Texas Motor Speedway. Just kind of ride it out here a little bit. Don't burn them up here real fast. But I'll tell you what, Brian Tedeschi getting around him, coming down the front stretch, that number 29 machine, 11th position. And let's move it on back here a little bit. Let's go to Kyle Guerri, 16th position in the number 98 machine, backing off the throttle quite a bit here, thinking he's just wanting to stay out of trouble. We won't know until we get to green flag pit stops here and find out what's going on with that machine. But I'll tell you what, in 15th position, the 00, Josh Harrington, almost looking at the bumper of the 92, backed off. That's going to be Crystal and I up in front in 14th.
Meanwhile, that battle for the race lead, I tell you what, Ray Alfalla isn't being able to pull away the way that we thought he would be able to at the start of the race. That gap is still less than 2 car lengths to work themselves down the back straightaway once again, down into turn number 3. And you have to say that 55 car right now really putting the pressure on Ray Alfalla. Of course, Alfalla is a former World Championship Series champion, but right now he's under quite a lot of pressure. Kevin West and Steve Gilbert still holding on, but apart from that, he's now really a 4-car breakaway in the battle for the race lead.
You know, I'm still watching the 00 back here, Josh Harrington. He's got the 21 up on the outside, but I think the 21 might be having some handling issues, almost taking a piece of the wall, gets out of shape off of turn 2. But I think that 21 machine definitely having some handling ills as 3 more get past him down here 4th position. So Mickey Spangler looks like in pretty big trouble here at Texas Speedway.
And we're going to check it out towards pit road once again, because Dakota, we were talking about the fact that last time EWC was here, actually, Ray Alfaro struggled a little bit.
Yeah, he actually ended up, I would say, finished second. I don't want to do that, but I know he was beaten by Nick Ottinger, and that was just a few weeks ago, so not long ago. He might have had a little bit of time to work on the setup, but probably a similar car. He's got a lot of competition in the 55 of Brian Schoenberger, but I have a feeling that, you know, Ray Alfaro does not have the ultimate car.
The ultimate car, perhaps, indeed, thank you very much. But gap continues to close. It's now becoming a bit of a two-car breakaway. And look at that through the field, however. You have Jonathan Jones in that 08 Purple Fury car, working, trying to eke out an advantage right now from that 99 car of Morgan Schooley. But you have to say, still running the top 10 KD, both those drivers are doing a tremendous job.
Oh, let's go back here to 28th position, 11 car in big trouble. Michael Wynn tags the outside wall coming off of turn 2 into the outside wall, bounces off into the inside wall. No caution flag. I believe we're still green flag racing here at Texas. The 11 car in big trouble back here in 28th position, guys.
And he's got himself half a lap to try and get that car back into the pit road. Leaders are coming. He really is struggling right now in that number 62 car to work himself through 1-2-1 to get a big lick there. Looks like he's going to get himself going, but we'll keep an eye out to see whether he makes an early journey down towards pit road. Checking in once again on your battle for 8th and 9th positions on the racetrack, because Schooley down to the inside. He's going to complete the pass there on Jonathan Jones, and he's going to move himself up now into the 8th position on the racetrack.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, let's talk about a little bit while we're here, while we're green flag racing here, Morgan Schooley. And I'll tell you, him and his family, Sarah and Parker. Parker's 1 year old. They live in Kerrville, Texas. And they rent their home, and you know, they've worked all their lives and building a great life for their family and everything. And Morgan was diagnosed in September with stage 4 lymphoma cancer. And you know, he's been going through the chemotherapy treatments and you know, all of the treatments associated with that. And then the insurance company lets you know that, hey, cowboy, you're not covered anymore. Now, what kind of news would that bring to your family? I mean, it's pretty devastating when you think of the kind of illness that he's suffering from and what he's got to look forward to as far as treatments. So this is why we're here tonight. Okay, we're here to help this family, this young family. Morgan is 34 years old, Will. He's got a 1-year-old son at home named Parker. His wife works and pretty much brings home the bacon. And, you know, Morgan does what he can. Of course, with the illness that he has, it means an up and down life that he leads right now. But that's the reason why we're here tonight, to help this young man out, you know, and his family.
Indeed, yeah. And don't forget, you can head over to morganschooley.com, and the front page of the website says lend a hand. And indeed, if you can lend a hand, if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, then any amount really could help in this situation. So head over to morganschooley.com. We're getting word that the 98 car lost at the back runaway, lost 7 positions, went from 15th down to 22nd position. Struggling early on there for Carl Gurry. We've also got word that Ian Hahn almost lost the turn before as well. We remain green, however, as we've got a little bit too wide racing right now between Chris Ottinger and Ian Hahn. They are battling for position in the mid-pack. Still working green though, 14 laps into this race, and this is now that stage of the race that these cars will start fighting up, JD.
You bet. I was watching Ian Hahn here in the 47 machine. He's got the same problem the 11 car does. Just handling it, just absolutely going away. Might have been too much too soon for these cars, but it looks like Ian's got it back and doing pretty good with that 18th position back here. But he's trying to pedal that thing around here at Texas, moving up in front of him, the 92 of Chris Lanani in that 17th position. He's looking at the bumper of the 00. That's going to be Josh Harrington up here, but it's single file all the way to the front. No real battles happening up to that point. And I'll tell you what, Ray Alfaro still leads the crowd here, almost a half a second lead over the 55 of Brian Schoenberg.
He's going to get that gap up now to about 6 car lengths to work himself down the back straight away, down into turn number 3, once again working on lap number 16 of 100 in the Morgan Schooley 150 benefit event. A GlacierTV ETV live special presentation here. Please stay tuned. broadcast companies can't work together. But meanwhile, that 55 car now dropping back into the clutches of Stephen Gilbert. And Gilbert is trying to close that gap just a little bit. Last time by 29.708 there for Gilbert. And he was a full half attempt faster than that 55 car. Actually got a big wiggle coming out of turn number 2 there.
Yeah, you know what? A little bit heavy on the throttle here. I've been watching a number of these guys here, and of course a couple of them, the 11 car, the 47 car. I think they're just kind of, I think they burned things up, burned their tires up a little bit too early here. But with 100 laps on board, 17 in the books here already at Texas Motor Speedway, and Michael Wynn, the 11 car, is on pit road, so he's getting the damage fixed as we speak, and that's going to be the damage that he got coming off of turn 2 there. Remember, he got into the outside wall, bounced into the inside wall, and took significant damage on both sides of the car. So 11 of Michael Wynn on pit road getting his repairs.
And Dakota, any updates at all from pit road?
Not really so much that 11 car. I mean, he was off the pace quite a bit, several seconds off the pace before he was actually caught up by Eric Eisenbeck, who actually started from pit road. It had a pretty good gap right there. He's been running 96 seconds behind the race and currently coming up on being lapped before long, but he was running so slow that they had to bring him down and get him off the racetrack before he became just a moving roadblock, guys.
Meanwhile, back to E7-8 on the racetrack, Morgan Schooley and Davey Wilson. Schooley in the 99 car, currently running in the 8th position. Closed up to the rim, down to the inside as they come through turn at number 1 and 2. Side-by-side racing, and be careful as you come off turn number 2. Looks like both those cars are handling really well. They're going to be side-by-side as they continue the run down into turn number 3. Looks like Schooley needs to drive down deep into that corner. He's now clear up into the 7th position on the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, Will, how about ETV Live and GlacierTV working together? Who would have ever thought? Another shock to the iRacing community, however. But Randolph Chenoweth back here in 11th position. He gave it up to Brian Tedeschi here about a lap and a half ago. Brian up here in 10th position, watching those two going at it. Didn't look like Randolph Chenoweth was done yet. But he's chasing down Tedeschi up there in the front in that number 29 machine, try to get that position back. But Brian Tedeschi, he's a long ways from the front, Cowboy. 11 seconds behind the leader.
We've got trouble there. That's Cesano there, who got very sideways through turn number 3 and 4. He's been able to keep it going, but he's lost himself a total of about 4 positions on the racetrack back. It wasn't him. There's another car a little bit further back. We are believing that is Chenoweth actually. He's now falling down into the 14th position on the racetrack. So we're at that point now where things are starting to get more difficult for these drivers behind them. We've got Anthony Fredericks and Chris Lanini. They are battling the 15th and 16th positions on the racetrack. And do you really think, JD, that these cars thought they were going to go 22 laps into this race really without a single caution?
You know what? With a field like this, not on your life, Cowboy. I've seen cautions come lickety split right after the green flag. But looking back at this issue with Lanzaro, I think what had happened, he got off the throttle and heavy on the brakes. Up in front of him, it was actually Randolph Chenoweth. Tangles with that apron line down there. Oh, and we've got a caution, I understand?
Yeah, we're going to hand it to Yoni. Yoni's got our first caution of the day here. That's the 150.
Yeah, absolutely, Will. And Ian had having those huge problems 3 times in a short period of time coming out of turn 4. This time he takes it into another end of the track, comes out of turn 2 all by himself. Didn't cause an immediate wreck on everyone, just sent his car into a long looping slide, grazes the wall a little bit, sends it to another impact into the backside wall, and he goes spinning, and that's the first caution of the day.
So working under our first caution of the day with 25 laps will be more complete at the line. Ray Alfaro is your race leader under caution, and Brian Schulberg in the 2nd position, Stephen Gilbert 3rd, Kevin West in 4th, and Dalton Baldwin will round out your top 5. We are going to have pit road open this time by pretty much expect all of these guys come towards pit road. They all take themselves 4 fresh tyres and they'll top up with Sunoco race gas as well. And pit road will be open this time by pace car, which is currently working himself down the back straight away. Pace speed here 60 miles an hour, pit road speed 45 miles an hour. And as these cars are about to work themselves down towards pit road, we're going to hand it over to Dakota.
Yeah, it's like you said, almost everybody's come down 4 tires of fuel. You might see a few adjustments here. I think a lot of guys didn't really practice long run in practice, and now they're kind of getting to see what it's like in a long run, especially in traffic. When these guys do practice, generally it's by themselves, and that's where you don't get a good idea of how your car's going to drive in the draft. Things just tend to be a little bit faster here. So what a lot of drivers are really complaining about, or what I've actually noticed, is a lot of cars not having a whole lot of rear grip coming off the corners. Ray Alfalla car really stout, just going to be a 4-tire stop. I do believe that's a full tank of fuel. Same thing for the 55. I don't know if there's much that I can do to catch that 2 machine now. 2 being really stout on the racetrack, as here everybody comes now into their stalls. Ray Alfalla leads down. He's going to get into his stall at 55. Shoots, he has to back up. But the right sides will go up on Alfalla, and it should be a 4-tire stop. Just like I said, we'll watch the 2 cars' right sides go down. Then I go to the left side. The 55 could lose a spot or 2 here, as his left side's just now up. You see the 3 cars down and away. Slow start for the 3, but the 54 is actually going to beat out the 55 for second. So you'll have Ray Alfalla, Dalton Baldwin, and Ryan Schoenberger being the first top 3 out of pit road.
1 car on the lead lap, in fact 2 cars on the lead lap did not pit. James Hollister did not, neither did Michael Wynn. He scored multiple laps down. Joshua Frederick did not pit as well. That will bring himself back onto the lead lap. Of course, pit road will now be open for lap down cars. It will be interesting to see whether or not Hollister will come down towards pit road right now. He might have just been trying to keep out of all of the melee as they work themselves through turn at number 3 and 4 once again. Let's see whether these 2 cars come on towards pit road. We expect them both to do so. And we'll get word. No, and definitely see that the 77 car does indeed come in, so he'll fall to the rear of the field. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we'd like to welcome you to GlacierTV and ETV Live special presentation of the Morgan Schooley 150 benefit event here on GlacierTV. You've got Will Vincent, JD Webb, Dakota Ehrman, and Yoni Bachman in the booth. Yana Matikayan working on the cameras, and we are at Texas Motor Speedway. This 1.5 mile, 4-corner, 24-degree banked oval. And we'd like to give a shout out, of course, to iRacing for donating a full $250 worth of prizes for this event, and also to our friends on the other side of the booth for ETV Live for stepping up and doing this race with us. And JD, working under our first caution of the day, you have to say Alfalla was very fast on that second half of the run.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a great first run here up to that caution, but I'll tell you, handling going away on several of these cars real early in the game. So I'm sure strategies on pit road are going to tell these guys, hey, back out of the throttle just a little bit more. We still got a lot of laps ahead of us, 27 of them in the books here already out of a 100-lap race here at Texas Motor Speedway. And again, Morgan Schooley, his family devastated by Morgan's battle with stage 4 lymphoma cancer. This is all for him, cowboy. You want to get over to morganschooley.com, push that donate button. If it's $1, $10, $100, whatever you can afford to give, help this young family out. His insurance company, after finding out that he was being treated for stage 4 cancer, dumped him like a hot rock. How's that, cowboy? When does that ever happen? That's why we're here tonight, all right? We're here to help this young family. Morgan, 34 years old. He's got a 1-year-old son at home. Parker, Sarah, probably tuning in and watching, sweetheart. I hope you are. And this is all for you guys. But Morgan Schooley, I keep wanting to say Stanley. I don't know why. morganschooley.com. And get on over. You can read his story a little bit there, and then push that donate button. And again, like Will said, big thanks to iRacing for the $250 in iRacing credits. We've also got random drawings coming up here, guys. For those $50 iRacing credits, but also on the card here tonight, 120 gigabyte SSD drive, a pair of 550 Ti video cards, a 560 Ti going out to, and this is for the top 3 winners of tonight.
Indeed, yes, and the lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to go to green flag racing this time by. However, the first of our 5 $50 prizes to the guys in the race, we will come to that a little bit later on. But pace car going to make that trip down towards pit road once again. Road number 1 this time will be Ray Alfalla and Dalton Baldwin. Schulberg falls back into 3rd position, Stephen Gilbert in 4th. They are your front 2 rows. Pace car making that turn down towards pit road. Their pace about to pick up once again. Green flag back again. I tell you what, then on the outside line, that just didn't get going at all. The 54 car lost one position, almost lost another, to work themselves back down into turn number 1.
sound asleep at the wheel, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, the 54 car, Dalton Baldwin, almost backing up that whole entire top line up there as Alfala and Schoenberg just took off like rockets. But I'll tell you what, that 54 machine, get the throttle down, Cowboy, get that pony moving around here at Texas Speedway. Single file all the way back to about 9th position, the 08 machine. Jonathan Goke on the bottom of the 99 on the top side. Jonathan Goke for the position.
The 08 car, the Vanderbilt driver of Jonathan Goke, now up into the second position. Behind them, the 78 car, the 99 car to drive, almost had a big moment there. The 12 car, they're going 3 wide down into turn number 3. They make it stick for the time being, but that 12 car, that is heading there. He's really struggling now. He's falling to the outside line, but that was always a huge impact right there. And that involved David Wilson and Morgan Schooley. They were running 3 wide at one point down into turn number 3. They sorted themselves out for the time being, but proceeding down to the inside, and he will complete the pass on Morgan Schooley.
And Schooley's still running in the top 10 here. That's where he qualified here tonight. And this is all for him. And I'll tell you, iRacing is about all that Morgan's got left here as he battles that stage 4 cancer. And, you know, the reason why we're here tonight with GlacierTV, ETV Live working together here with Will and Yoni and the whole crew. But I'll tell you what, some good battles, good racing going on here at Texas Speedway. Single file, 92 cars in on the apron, getting loose. He gets it wound up. This is going to be 17th position. Chris Lanani, remember he was having problems earlier. Manages to stay up running, get back on the track, down the backstretch. That's going to set him back quite a ways. 17th position being shown as 17th right now, guys.
Indeed, yeah, and his car wicked loose once again early on in that run. Now down into the 24th position on the racetrack, and he is back. He's got himself about an 8-car length to close up now to the rear of Michael Franklin. He's actually fallen back in this race as well. In the battle for the race lead, however, the fire is pulled away.
22nd position, the 13 car, same thing off of turn 2, down across the apron, almost into the inside wall, saves the car. Fred Masters has to get off the throttle, but I'll tell you what, good job keeping that thing off the bumpers of everybody else. I'll tell you what, Fred Masters just seesawing that wheel inside, trying to keep that number 13 machine in line, but almost a caution there, Will.
Almost our second caution of the day, but the guys continue along. Looking ourselves now on lap number 35 of 100. That battle for race lead, that gap is now up to 6 car lengths on the race. I tell you what, the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, that continues to hot up. You've got yourself Stephen Gilbert, Dalton Goldman, and Kevin West. They were running pretty much nose to tail. The 17 car of West looks down to the inside, down into turn number 3. He will slide down, he will get the job done, and he is now up into the 4th position as that 54 car is starting to go backwards, and that is Dalton Goldman there in the M&M's car. And he started this one pretty well, but he's starting to fall back now as his car's falling away from him.
36 laps in the books here, and I'll tell you what, you know, similar to the first set here, the first 25 laps or so. I mean, these guys are just they're burning up the tires a little bit too early. Baldwin trying to hang on to at least a top 5 here. 54 machine doing everything he can. But I tell you what, moving forward here a little bit, Kevin West, 4th position up here. He's looking at the bumper to the 3. That's Stephen Gilbert. Gilbert doing a good job staying right there, staying right with it. But I tell you what, Alfala and Schoenberg, those two cowboys have pretty much left the rest of the pack. Ray Alfala with almost a little better than a half-second lead over Schoenberg, but then you got to go a second and a half back to that number 3 machine in 3rd position. So Alfala and Schoenberg certainly on a rail here at Texas.
And of course, if Kevin West continues going moving, he starts battling with Stephen Gilbert. That gap will continue to increase as West slides down to the inside, down in turn number 1. This is the battle for the 3rd position, and West will get the job done there. Out in turn number 2, Gilbert would have had the advantage on the outside line. In fact, he's already coming back down the inside, swapping positions like there's no tomorrow here, and West back down. He will try and make that move down into turn number 3. He's not been able to hold that inside line perfectly though. You see that the 17 car having to run in between the 2nd and 3rd group there. Just actual a tiny bit there, but for the moment, Gilbert back into that 3rd place.
I'll tell you what, Brian Tedeschi back here, 11th position at number 29 machine. Brian let the 99 Morgan Schooley go by, as well as 69 of Drew Lanzaro. But I don't know if Tedeschi's just working out some strategy here. But looks like 69 machine's under attack again as he gets into turn 4. A little bit wild. Gonna take that high line up. In the meantime, 29 holding a good solid line on the bottom. Oh, gonna get loose into grass. Manages to save it. 29 machine taking a ride through the grass. Oh, almost, yeah, 3 wide with the Randolph Chenoweth. That 50 machine almost cut that 29 machine off. Boy, I tell you what, these guys are cutting them ponies loose now.
I tell you what, they are 2 by 2 by 2, so work themselves down into turn number 3 once again. It's that stage great. We've seen some of these cars get loose in the apron already as they work themselves out of turn number 3 and 4. You have the 73 car there trying to look down to the inside as they work themselves past the top finish line once again. That is Chris Oppinger, who's been trying to make the move there on that 29 machine. The 29 car has been going backwards once again into this row. Ahead of them, you've got Randall Chenoweth and 12 car, the 69 and the 88 cars. They are all battling very closely on the racetrack right now. That has allowed him to put out a little bit of a gap behind him. But he's got himself, what, 10, 11 cars right now battling for position all the way through from about 10 to 20 positions on the racetrack. And he's seen that one little foot wrong and it can almost turn into catastrophe. But these guys are really good at avoiding disaster.
You bet. I've been keeping an eye on this battle up here, about 15th position forward, 73 car of Ostrander, but things have kind of settled down here for now, for a little bit, but I tell you what, it won't be long. The 88 machine up here in 10th position, that's going to be Jeffrey LaPalme. He's given the positions up, and looks like the 12 machine of Kevin, I'm not even going to try that last night, we're going to just call him Kevin T, getting a position there, but the 88 machine of LaPalme giving one up, and we'll see how he does for the rest of the night. In the meantime, looking backwards here, pretty much single file all the way back. Alfala and Schoenberg are pretty much checked out, but I'll tell you what, the battle starts with Stephen Gilbert up there in 3rd. He's 2.7 seconds behind the leader's wheel, but in behind him he's got West, Baldwin, Spangler's up in there, and I'll tell you what, race is looking good here tonight at Texas.
Race is looking good indeed. Jonathan Goetz starting to pull out the picture for the time being. He's been caught up by David Wilson, the 78 car. Those two are currently separated by just 3 tenths on the racetrack right now as they work themselves through turn 3 and 4. And last time they to eke out a couple of hundredths over Jonathan Goetz. Let's see what happens as they come past the start finish line once again. This time looks as though another couple of hundredths there. So Jonathan Goetz in that 08 car, a late entry into this race and struggling right now to get a little bit of grip to that car. I tell you what, like about 4 or 5 laps ago, we reported on the fact that Stephen Gilbert and Kevin West had that huge battle going for 3rd and 4th position. That's kind of calmed itself down. As we saw in the first stint, it does look as though that these guys, once those tyres come up to temperature and the cars start getting a little bit tighter, they just seem to fall into line. It's a lot more difficult, JD, to pass the second run unless the car ahead of you really is suffering from some handling.
I'll tell you what, handling issues are showing themselves. Watching the 62 machine battle with the 28 car here. This is going to be 19th position there, the 62 up on the high side. Got a little wiggle coming off of, I believe it was about a half a lap ago. It's going to be make it turn 4. Going down the backstretch here though, but I'll tell you what, the 62 machine, he either likes that high line up there or just kind of biding his time. We're having some difficulty, but given another position up, it's going to be Eric Eisenbeck up here in 18th position, that 62 car. But I'm sure handling is starting, bad handling is starting to take effect here. But that's, you know, once again, MorganSchooley.com, guys. This is where, this is what it's all about here tonight. This isn't really about the race. It's more about Morgan Schooley and his young family. This young man, 34 years old, diagnosed September, Will, with stage 4 lymphoma cancer. He's had his chemotherapy treatments. Now he's going to Houston, Texas for stem cell implants to help fight this battle of cancer that he's enduring. And you know what, despicable thing his insurance company did. This is the reason why we're here tonight. You know, call him up on the phone and say, hey, cowboy, we're not going to cover your, you know, we're not going to cover you anymore. So, you know, the battle's on. Not only here on the track, Will, but with the family, with the Schooley family as well. So we're here tonight for Morgan and Sarah and Parker. Young Parker, probably a little bit too young to be watching here tonight. Parker's only 1 year old. But I'll tell you what, his proud daddy's out here on the track holding his own, doing a fantastic job here at Texas Speedway.
And I'll tell you what, I'm from the UK, we don't have the whole idea of insurance companies, but it is a really bad thing. So don't forget, morganstooley.com. And as you said, in the front page, lend a hand. If you enjoyed the race today, feel free to lend a hand. Any donation really can make a big difference. However, it's really hotting up right now as we're approaching halfway distance. In this battle for 17th, 18th, 19th on the racetrack, they almost collected each other, Yoni. The 69 car of Giuliano got sideways there on the apron and somehow once again managed to save it.
Yeah, not only the 69 car of Drew Lanzaro, there was the 73 car of Chris Ostrander as well. They were going sideways at the same time on the turn 4 apron, and that was a miraculous save there. One of these guys even bounced from the outside wall after that, but still kept it free.
Meanwhile, Ray Alfaro, that gap is now up to 1.6 seconds on the racetrack. We did see this at the start of the race, JD. Alfaro, those first 10 laps, he really wasn't able to shake off the 55 car. But then, after that, he could just drive off into the sunset. Last time by, a 29.712. Compare that to Schonberg's lap time of a 29.896. Right now, Alfaro is only 2 tenths of a second faster per lap in that number 2 car.
Whoa!
Really showing as we've got trouble on the racetrack in our second portion of the day. And a huge crash there. And this has got the 12 car involved in it. And I also believe that Harrington was able to get through that. It looks as though it's actually Lanini there into the wall as well. We'll try and get ourselves a replay of that in a moment. 2 cars involved, JD.
You bet. I'm pulling it back up here on my monitor trying to figure out what went wrong here. I think the 12 car, I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, might have started the whole thing. He tangles with the apron coming off of turn 4, gets way out of shape, and darts across the track up into the outside wall. And the guys behind him, they're trying to avoid all of that. So, well, as Kevin's trying to keep that machine of his from any further trouble, he starts coming across the line and gets tagged, goes for that e-ticket ride, that triple axle down the front stretch right there at the trioval.
Yeah, and he's right. That started all the way down. He got a little bit loose, actually, and he was so lucky to avoid collecting. That would have been Jeffrey LePont in the 88 car. So lucky to avoid him. The car just slid up the racetrack, slammed the wall, then came back down, and he's trying to keep it on the wall. Slammed into a couple of other drivers there under our second portion of the day right now. It looks as though pit road is open, going to hand it back down. Hold up.
It was just about 20 to 25 laps to go that we last came down pit road to get tires and fuel, so it's just about that time. Once again, we'll come down. We may be able to make it from here, or maybe one more stop. It is close either way. We do know about 40 to 50 laps on the field, but I cannot tell you for sure. As now Ray Alfaro comes to hit a stop in his stall, Schoenberger behind him. Nobody misses a stall up front, really. There, at least out of the top 3 cars, going to be 4 tires stop. You see the 2 cars right sides go up, but no changes to that machine. That is for sure. Ray Alfaro on a rail, and he knows it. His left side's now dropping. He's away. 55 of Brian Schoenberger going to give him a big challenge off pit road. It looks like Alfaro will win the battle. 54 of Dalton Baldwin will come off 3rd, and he'll pick up a few spots as well here, guys.
I tell you what, JD, that was very close. Alfaro almost losing the race lead for the first time in this race. However, just inches separating himself and the 55 car on that race out of pit road.
You bet. I'll tell you what, this is foreign territory for Ray Alfaro, I believe. This is a, I believe, quote me if, no, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe this is a fixed setup race. This is not something that Ray Alfaro is used to doing. So, I'll tell you what, Ray Alfaro is certainly the class of the field here tonight. Brian Schoenberg might as well be sitting in the seat next to him in that 55 machine. But here again, we're here from Morgan Schooley here at Texas Motor Speedway here tonight. And I wanted to try to get Fred Masters in the booth here. I don't know whether we can get him on the radio, but Fred Masters organized this entire event. That's somebody that we haven't thanked yet, Will. And a huge round of applause for Fred organizing this whole event and putting this thing together here. And of course, with ETV Live and GlacierTV, broadcasting this thing, coming together for such a worthy cause.
Indeed, yeah, and there was a little point in this race earlier on when Fred almost put it into the wall, and I was thinking, you know what, this guy's put so much time and energy into preparing and getting everything working for this race. So, Fred, welcome to the GlacierTV in race interview. I'm the ETV live in race interview. But very quickly working on conclusion. Your race, it's been up and down so far, but it's more important than a race today. We're all here for one reason, and so far it's been a great event to watch.
Yeah, I'm glad everybody out here is having fun. Great turnout that we got here. It's excellent. It's for a good cause. I'm happy to put it on for everybody.
So, as you say, right now you're running in the 23rd position, looking as though you're going to get yourself the wave runs and put yourself back on the lead lap, but been a pretty tough time for you so far.
Yeah, I caught the wall coming out of it, and then Vic Greenwood got into me there. It sucks I ruined his race, but we'll see what happens here. Hopefully get it fixed up a little.
And as far as the reason why we're all here as well, it's been a lot of work and a lot of preparation. You say it's all worth it when you're doing it, but how has it been from the iRacing community being able to get yourself, you know, all of this support in relation to this event? What was the question there? I was saying, I know you're trying to work yourself getting the wave run, of course, right now, but how has the reaction been from the iRacing community, not only towards this event, but the wider picture involved in Morgan as well?
Oh, it's been excellent. It's been a lot of fun setting this up, and the turnout that we got was just great. The people, everybody's more than willing to donate prizes, and it's just a really good cause, and I'm glad to help Morgan out. So.
Well,
you know, guys, hey, Will, I was going to say, you know, being involved in the sim racing community for a number of years, I can't think of another organization, another group that really comes together as much as the sim racing community does. It doesn't matter if you're iRacing or R-Factor or whatever you do out there. You know, the people involved in the sim racing community, they just come out of the woodwork to help their fellow racer here, and that's what we're doing here tonight, and that's a wonderful thing.
10-4, and I tell you what, Fred, back on the lead lap, good luck for this. We're now deep into the second part of this race. Pace car might make that trip down towards pit road once again. Don't forget, last time, Dalton Goldman in that 54 car was very slow. He spun those tyres up, green flag back in the air, and once again, the 54, a little bit sluggish off the start. He's going to be passed on the outside if he's not careful. They form down into turn number 1. A good start by Afana, a good start by Schoenberg as well. They're 2 wide running through turn number 1 and 2. They're 3 wide running a little bit further back as well. They're trying to get themselves settled down, but about for the third position. Stephen Gilbert is still going to run that outside line through turn 3 and 4. Now he just gets off the gas a little bit. Perhaps he's going to try and swap back into line. Indeed he does. Behind that, it looks as if Johnson goes on the outside line. As they work themselves, he will complete that pass. He's going to move himself up, I believe, into the 7th position on the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, watching that restart there, the 17 machine bump drafting the 54 on the restart, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, trying to give him a little bit of help up there, but it didn't work out. Kevin West up here in 5th position has dropped to the bottom, and now he's working behind Stephen Gilbert up there in that number 3 machine. But I'll tell you what, going back here just a little further back, single file racing all the way back, Cowboy, until you get to 16th position, 00. That's Josh Harrington up on the outside of the 98 machine. I tell you what, oh, and I tell you what, door banging here a little bit. Is that a little bit of a payback on the 00? Who's to know? That's Kyle Guerri in the 98 machine as he goes by on turn 2.
Meanwhile, you did have a little bit more bump drafting between the number 94 car, Mike Bredson, and Drew Lanzano. Lanzano was trying to loosen up there, the 94 car, as they worked themselves down the back straightaway. Once again, they're going to have now 60 laps in the book as they come past start for this line, this time by Field again starting to spread out, but Afana, it looks as though he's really got a grip on this setup now, already up to a half-second advantage.
Yeah, you know, Will, I think he had that figured out about lap 10 of this thing. He started checking out on the rest of the field. Of course, he had been kind of pulling the 55 machine of Schoenberg along there a little bit. But Brian was struggling that about the first half of the race. But Schoenberg, he's showing that he's got it pretty well put together as well, staying about a half second off the leader up there in the front. But I'll tell you what, 61 laps in the books here at Texas Motor Speedway. And don't forget, MorganSchooley.com. Get on over there and click that donation button and help this young family out. And I'll tell you what, it might be groceries for a week, it might be the rent, might even be a car payment. But I'll tell you, whatever it is, it comes together and helps this young man and his family while Morgan battles this dreadful disease of his. and he's looking for that stem cell transplant here coming very soon here in Houston. So they need all the help they can get to try to get by and make things work out for him. But in the meantime, great race there at Texas. Well, I tell you what, it's been an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this.
It hasn't been well. We've got a car down on the apron there, as looks like that was the 88 car. Jeffrey LaPalm caught the apron, almost went sideways. We stay green as we're now working on lap number 63. I will second that as well. Great to see GlacierTV and ETV Live working together. We did try to get Tim Terry up with us, but fortunately he is spotting for Ray Alfaro right now. It would have been great to have PSR guys involved here as well. But meanwhile, the 4 car right now is on the move. Andrew Fredericks there, he almost catches the apron as well. This is going to slow things down. They're going to be 3 wide almost as they work themselves down into the tri-oval. But it does seem to be that apron is so scary there. But these guys are trying to eke out everything possible on their race cars. And Jeffrey LaPalm made up 2 positions, and he's right back down to the 15th spot on the racetrack.
You know, I think, 62 getting wicked loose on the backstretch. That's 20th position back here, guys. Not quite sure what caused that. I'm going to roll it back here, and maybe Yarno can pick up on this. This is going to be on lap 64, coming off of turn 2. The 62 machine just gets wild loose, tags the inside wall here a little bit, and manages to hang on. But that's going to be Eric Eisenbeck, guys. He gets it together, manages to get into 3 and 4. But I'll tell you, wicked loose coming off of turn 2 here. We'll keep an eye on that.
And meanwhile, we're going to hand it down to the cone on pit road. We are now in that window that all these guys will be able to make it if there's one more caution without topping up on fuel. Do you expect to see if there's another caution? 2 tires, 4 tires?
Well, I think, you know, it's come down to 4 tires. We have more than 10 laps on the tires now, or just around 10 laps since we've gone back green flag racing. So it's going to be most likely a 4-tire stop. You might see the 2 tires, but if you do, that car will get freight trained. There's no doubt about it. That car will go to the back, and there's no doubt in my mind here, Will.
But meanwhile, for Ray Alfaro, he's actually lost quite a lot of time right now. It's that 55 car. This is the battle for the race lead, and Alfaro looking like he can't drive away in this stint as much, JD.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, Alfalo's been here before. He knows exactly what he has to do. But I'll tell you what, I'm looking back here at Vic Greenwood. Now, he's the last car on the last lap here. He's in 18th position back here in that number 28th position, I'm sorry, in the 18 car. Unable to get up to race speed, guys, and at times he's almost like an obstacle. He was about a lap ago down the front stretch as a bunch of them tried to maneuver around, but the 18 machine not able to maintain race speed up here, but hanging in there.
Hanging in there indeed right now is Vic Greenwood, and he has currently scored 23 laps down, doing 31-second laps. He's got to be careful, especially when the leaders come up to him, that he doesn't try and impede them too much. Ray Alfaro is about halfway around the racetrack right now in that number 2 car, still involved in a tight battle with Brian Schlongberg to run through your top 10. It is Alfaro in the 2 car leading the way. He's got himself about a 4-car length advantage over Schlongberg as they work themselves down into turn number 3 once again. Gilbert is still in the 3rd position, Kevin West in 4th, Dalton Baldwin in 5th, Matt Spangler in 6th, Jonathan Goke in the 7th position right now, David Wilson in 8th, Morgan Schooley in the 9th position, and then Randolph Shenworth. He's been able to get himself now breaking into the top 10, JD.
I'll tell you what, Randolph Shenworth, he had a little bit of difficulty in that second set after that last caution, or just before that last caution, and was having a little bit of difficulty, but I think it became pretty evident that the setup was going away, the handling was going away on that long run. But sitting right there in 10th position, 50 car, Randolph Chenoweth, good position to be in with 70 laps in the books, 30 laps to go. And I'll tell you what, these boys are going to start letting the ponies loose here just shortly. That's usually what we see at these tracks, mile-and-a-half tracks. But Brian Tedeschi, now he sits in 11th position back here in the 29 machine. I think he's just kind of biding his time, just kind of waiting here a little bit. I got a funny feeling that they'll turn these ponies loose here with about 10 to go.
I'm going to hand it back down to Dakota on pit road, and you're talking about Vic Greenwood, who is again going pretty slowly.
Yeah, you guys, you mentioned him, and I wanted to go back to exactly what happened to him. It was actually on lap 39, the 18 car, Vic Greenwood working the backstretch. Right in front of him, it was Fred Masters, who was in 24th position. Got loose, got the outside wall, came back up, and ended up collecting the 18. The 18 to get a lot of damage away from the incident. Came down pit road, spent a lot of time on pit road, but he came back out now, really slow on the racetrack. So I believe caution is out, guys.
Caution is out for the third time here today. That was caused by the number 77 car of James Hollister, representing Club New England. We're going to see exactly what happened to him in a moment's time, but it looks as though he lost that down into turn number 1 and 2, working on lap number 69. And JD, that actually started all the way as he came through the second part of the tri-oval. It looks like he just got himself a little bit loose, and no one really talks about the quad oval here, but you really have got to wheel that car, especially as those tyres start going away. And he just lost it, spun before he even hit turn 1, rear-ended the safety barrier, and it looks as though he's got some substantial damage to that race car.
Yeah, you know what, these mile-and-a-half tracks like Charlotte, Texas, Atlanta that I can think of right off the top of my head, you know, there's never a straight place on these tracks where you can't, you got to keep pulling on the steering wheel a little bit to the left, especially going down the front straightaway. I mean, as much as you think you can take a straight line from turn 4 into turn 1, can't be done, Cowboy, without taking a little left-hand pressure on that steering wheel. And I think that's what happened. I'm watching the James Hollister coming down through the tri-oval here, and it just gets away from him, and it will do that. I mean, it's like being on ice skates going down through that tri-oval and spins it around. We call it a triple axle at ETV Live there, Will.
Indeed, and meanwhile, the race off pit road, Dakota, it looks like Afana has it, but there are a couple of guys that looks like you tried taking 2 tyres there.
There might have been. I'm looking at this, the 29 car who was in 12th position when he came down pit road, came off 3rd, definitely 2-tire stop. I see a few cars, at least that car, I don't really see a whole lot of others. Maybe the 94 car who was 18 coming in came off just around 11th. But other than that, I think it was just, you know, the 29 car, he actually came out 3rd. He got a pretty good gain, but I think it's going to be too much of a loss in the end. He did come off 3rd, but he didn't get the lead. And now it's going to be kind of slow on track, and the grip might even be gone from this car when it gets back out there on that. Has a weird heat cycle in the left side tires because it didn't get to change them there.
It looks like the 94 car also took 2 tyres. Very quickly going to talk to our other in-race reporter, Mr. Jonathan Goke, in the 08 car. And Goke, you have been running in the top 10 pretty solidly all day. Pretty good considering that you literally turned up to the racetrack 10 minutes before we went into qualifying.
Yep, I just like to thank this opportunity. This is an awesome event you guys are putting on, an awesome broadcast. And tell you what, this car does not know what it wants to do. It wants to push in the corners, it wants to spin off, it wants to spin like you said in the quad oval. It's those little turns you got at the start finish line are harder than you think. So I don't know what this car wants to do.
Running in the top 10, you've got yourself, what, 25 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing. Can you get that car into the top 5?
I doubt it. We definitely got some hard hitters up there with the likes of Alfalo and Schoenberg. I'll be extremely happy with the top 10 today.
Jonathan Goke there in the 08 F&D Purple Fury Banshee Autosport car, and I always remember to get that one right, I promise. But JD, third caution of the day here on GlacierTV ETV Live special presentation of the Morgan Schooley 150 benefit event from Texas Motor Speedway. Afana really has been the king here today, but there's still a lot of racing left to go. We have Carl Gurry, who actually stayed out on that caution. We'll see if he comes down towards pit road this time by. It'll be very interesting if he doesn't, because this will put Afana on the outside line for the first time. In fact, he doesn't come down towards pit road, so Carl Gurry right now rolling the dice with less than 25 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing.
I'll tell you what, I hope those dice got some soft cushions on them, Cowboy, because I'll tell you, Cal Gurry could be the biggest sitting duck at Texas you'd ever want to see. Everybody else behind him is going to have at least 4 tires, with the exception of, I believe, the 29 machine being reported as just left side tires only. So Kyle Gurry, he may be the biggest sitting duck you ever want to see in Texas.
And yeah, just before we go back to green flag racing, you've done quite a lot of races on this setup in this car. It's a handful to deal with, especially for Gurry, who's going to be on worn tyres, and he's going to have a lot of traffic behind him.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Oh, go ahead, Johnny.
Just to comment on the fixed setup, that's the reason why some of these guys go too low and touch the apron and they get all the sideways coming out of turn 4. That's the reason, because the fixed setup is you're able to rotate the car pretty well around the corners, but the closer you get to the apron, the heavier you can be on the throttle without jeopardizing the exit of the corner. But at the same time you do that, when you come out of the corner into the tri-oval, that's when you really need to have the rhythm straightening the car out. Otherwise, you're going to have the same destiny as the two guys in turn 1.
Pace car making that trip down towards pit road once again, completing our third caution of the day. 25 laps going to be scored complete at the line. Gurry bringing the field back up to green flag racing and spinning the tyres in the process as well. Had to get a big bump there to get himself going. He's already sideways to work down into turn 1. Watch out, boys. Here comes the Fana on the outside. Will he try and go back to the race lead? Yes, he does. He just breezes past there. Does Ray Fana. Schomburg is caught up behind him for the time being. Now he's going to look down to the inside as they work down this back straightaway down into turn 3. And this is the point right now where he's going to come and sitting up behind them. Kevin West, they're going 3 wide. They're still 3 wide in the middle of the racetrack. Almost getting loose there with Stevie Gilbert in at that number 3 car. But it does look as though Carl Gurry already has lost 3 positions in just 1 lap, JD.
I'll tell you what, the 55 machine bumped drafting the 98 all the way through turns 1 and 2, Cowboy. But I tell you, the 92 or the 98 dropping like a rock. I told you that would happen. Sitting duck here at Texas Motor Speedway, side by side with the 08 on the bottom, and on the bottom the 3 car looking to take it 3 wide with the 08 in the middle, the 98 up on the top. Gilbert still fighting hard on the bottom here. He's going to get the position, still fighting out down the straight here, down the front straight into the trial. Well, wow, what a hole shot there. Got the 08 in behind him. The 29 coming along. That's Brian Tedeschi. Remember, Brian started on 2 tires. He's falling like a rock too, guys.
And Carl Gurry now down into the position. They'll lose that spot there to Matt Spangler as they work themselves down into 3 and 4. Once again, Ellis Stevens right behind him as well. And what I had to say is the most vibrant paint scheme we have here today. But that battle right now for the race lead, Afana back to the point there in that number 2 car. Schomburg into the 2nd position once again. Kevin West, however, was able to get the jump on Stephen Gilbert on that last restart. We have a 3-car breakaway and Gilbert has been left out to dry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You know what? You got to have your wits about you here. 79 laps in the books, Cowboy. We are on the downhill side of things at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's get a report on the 99 machine. Morgan Stanley up here in 12th position, slipped out of the top 10 here. Goes 3 wide in the trial. The 98 on top, up on top. But I tell you what, the 99 Morgan Schooley. This is what it's all about here, guys, at Texas Motor Speedway. MorganSchooley.com. Get on order. Click that donate button. As Morgan fights back, tries to get back up inside that top 10, takes a piece of the wall coming off turn 4 or turn 2, but manages to hang on there, Will.
I'll tell you what, it looks like he's been watching a little bit too much of the 7500. He's trying to get himself some Texas stripes here today. They work through 3 and 4 once again, down to the inside. He will go in this battle now for what is the 11th position, 10th position on the racetrack. With himself and Jeffrey LaPalm, he'll look down to the inside. He will complete the pass coming out of turn number 2. And I think he's also catching Alex well. This last quarter really has shaken things up a little bit. You got Matt Spangler battling with Brian Tedeschi down into turn 3, turns him around there almost there, and Tedeschi's going to go sideways. The caution might come out here. Tedeschi struggling to try and get back into the racing group. Now Anthony Fredericks losing that car as well. Somehow they keep it together. They are 4 wide. Fredericks still spinning that car around. Hold it together, buddy. And he will go over the grass, and the caution does not come out for the time being. But I tell you what, for Fredericks in that 4 car, great car handling controls to just keep it from spinning on him.
I'll tell you what, you get off in the grass with all 4 tires, that's like going across an ice skating rink anywhere. But I tell you what, that 29 machine on 2 tires in 14th position, guys, manages to hang on to that machine through that melee. But Brian Tedeschi is still looking to fight back here with the 69 machine out in front of him, but directly in front of the 69 is the 98, Kyle Gurry. Remember, no tires to that 98 machine, still holding his own. 12th position here at Texas.
12th position, he has fallen back 11 spots there. Tedeschi's going to get the pass. No, it does look as though that was a big moment there for Drew Lanzaro in the number 69 car. He had to get right out of the gas on the back straightaway. He lost 1 position and also put Mike Buxton into the picture as well. But here comes Tedeschi down to the inside. Will he try and make that pass from Carl Gurry down to turn 1? Don't forget that that 98 car has no fresh tyres. He's been on these tyres now for pretty much about 50 laps in this race. still going backwards, now down into the 14th spot on the racetrack. Ahead of them, however, this battle for the race lead, Afala now with a half-second advantage over Schomburg.
I'll tell you what, going back to that 98 machine, that's called perseverance, Will. And that's the reason why we're out here, perseverance. Morgan Schooley persevering through this stage 4 cancer that he's dealing with, and the reason why we're here tonight, morganschooley.com. And I'll tell you what, shameful thing, like I said, that his insurance company did for him, but we're here to help that situation out here a little bit, and try to see if we can, get people to push that donate button over at morganschooley.com. Young family, Morgan, Sarah, and Parker in Kerrville, Texas. But a lot happening out here in Texas.
The 69 car still sliding all over the place. That is Drew Lanzari. He's now down into the 17th position. Schooley now up into the 8th spot. He was 12 last time we were talking about him. So back up into the top 10. And you know what? Month of May is all about dreams. It's all about, getting yourself everything that you desire. Big races in not only the iRacing schedule, but also in real life racing as well. For Schooley, all he wants is his dream to see his kid grow up. So don't forget, morganschooley.com. If you can donate, even if it's the equivalent of 1 cup of Starbucks, that will make a huge difference as Lanzani hits the wall once again as they come down into turn number 2. Meanwhile, for Fana, he's got less than 15 laps to go, and he's back again into his dominant phase. And Dakota, if we get a caution at this point in the race, that question comes up again. 2 tyres, 4 tyres.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Stay out.
Yeah, stay out, yeah.
You think everyone will stay out, or do you think some guys will come down? I think, I say, Big Smoke there, caution, will if you come out here. So we've talked about it, now we're actually going to see it. The commentators' curve strikes once again, our 4th caution of the day, and it was because we had a car who was stuck on the back straightaway. That was the number 11 car of Michael Wynn, and he must have lost it on the back straightaway there. He was right, he actually got tagged coming out of turn number 2 by the look of it, and I'm guessing that is by Eric Eisenbeck there. Just tagged him as they came out of turn number 2. The 11 car came down, and the 62 car just came up a little bit as he got loose. Both cars there into the wall, but the 11 car was the one that took the most damage, and he is out of the race.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, watching this again on the replay, he goes for that e-ticket ride down the backstretch here. But I'll tell you, the 11 car fighting a loose condition pretty much all race long here, Will. Watching Michael Wynn trying to manhandle that machine of his around. But I'll tell you what, tough night for that number 11 machine of his. Let's send it on down to Dakota. Dakota, what's going to happen here? Pit stops, do you change all 4, 2 tires? What's going to happen here?
Well, it's really a difficult call here. I think we'll have to, call it as we see it. I think we might see 2 to 3 cars stay out, probably from 5th between 10th. Generally, that's what we see, and you want to see the leaders come down. They're going to want those 4 tires. Ray Alfala hesitating, but he does come down. Schoenberg stays out, and there's the 17. It looks like Alfala might have a lot of cars to get through. That could change things here, as the 08 of Jonathan Goat will come down. Matt Spangler comes down. Ellis Stevens and the 88, the rest of the guys come down, or most of the rest of the guys come down. Now looking at Alfala, we'll see what he does. I mean, the guys behind him could take 2 tires and still beat him out, so it could be something interesting here as the 2 car comes to a stop in his stall. It looks like the right side's just about to go up. And there they go, they're going up. And how about Morgan Schooley actually stay out as well, guys, in the 99 machine? We talked about him running about 12th. He moved up to just about 8th before the caution. It was a 4-tire stop for Alfala, by the way. He is out and away. Gets beat by the 29 and the 8. Well, the 29, just the 29, almost the 88. It was like 2 tires for the 29, guys.
Interesting. And Fred Masters out on the racetrack, as does Chris Ossinger and Joshua Fredericks. Mike Burston, Randolph Shenworth, Morgan Schooley stays out, Dalton Baldwin stays out, Stephen Gilbert stays out, Kevin West stays out, and your new race leader, Brian Schoenberg, stays out on the racetrack. We're going to have less than 10 laps to go in this race. I'm going to turn this to Yoni very quickly. Yoni, remember back when you did the World 600 and those last 10 laps when we were both absolutely knackered?
Don't remind me of that.
I was there.
Yeah. We're going to have one of these right now with Ray Alfano tearing himself through the field in the last, what, 7-8 laps of this race?
Yeah, but you have to remember that, like, these guys are not going for to try to win the World Cup. These guys are just here to have fun and support their fellow iRacers. So I doubt this is going to be the same kind of carnage that we had that time around. But yeah, we have pretty good good skill level of racers here, and even though these guys did not take tires, and we're going to have Alfala and the fellows who have 4 fresh tires coming like bad out of hell from at the back of the pack, but I'm still fairly confident that we're able to keep it clean.
Tim Terry, if you're listening, it's time to start spotting. He will be starting Ray Alfala on the outside of row number 6. We're going to get a quick word with Morgan Schooley very quickly. You are now running in the 5th position. You're going to start on the inside of row number 3 for this restart. Less than 10 laps to go. And you're sat in the top 5, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time on these old tires. So just kind of take what you can get from them. But I'll be, I think I'll be swallowed up pretty soon.
And we saw on the last restart, the one car that didn't come down on towards pit road and stay down. Very difficult to get that gas down on the restart. Any issues with that at all in your number 99 Ford Fusion?
Yeah, big issue. Be a slow start up here, and it's going to buckle things up there in the middle and just you know, kind of be an accordion. You don't hope for a yellow, but sometimes that's the only way you can save your position.
Well, 10-4, good luck in the last 10, less than 10 laps of this race. Going to get a quick chat with Fred Masters as well. You're going to restart on the outside of row number 5 in that number 13 Ford Fusion car. What can you do to stay in the top 10?
Yeah, my car's beat up a bit here, so I'm just going to see what happens. Maybe we'll get a quick yellow and I'll get a top 10 out of it.
So, good luck for you on your last 10. Let's dash to the line. The 29 car is the first car who came out of pit road taking 2 tyres. Jonathan Go got other in-race reports as well. Just starting kind of down the field for this one. Been a good race up until this point, but you will be starting in the 15th position. What can you do with fresh tyres?
I think I'm the second car behind Ray that has 4 freshmen, so hopefully I can latch on his bumper. We can go to the front. I'm going to have to disagree with Yoni, though, because I'm thinking since no safety I ratings at stake here, people are going to be even more desperate. I think they're going to go for it. They got nothing to lose.
You think?
You ready, kids?
Dude, I didn't want to say that out loud.
Talking about Tim Terry being a spotter for Ray Alfala, I'll tell you what, Tim Terry was probably taking a nap back in the hauler up until this point. Yeah, Tim Terry, now it's time to go to work, cowboy.
Indeed, yeah, the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to go back to green flag racing in the Morgan Schooley 150 with less than 10 laps to go. There will be 8 laps left to go into the line. Schulberg gets an early start there.
Oh, 17 in the wall.
And we have Kevin West who will keep it going for the time being. Hopefully no one hits it. The caution is not out yet. We're still green here at Texas Motor Speedway. And now the caution is... No, the caution is still not out. And Ray Alfala is involved as well. Ray Alfala is involved, so he is out of the race. Looks like Jonathan Goat is going to be down. And now the caution's up. We've got a huge wreck on the back straightaway. And this involves Ellis Stevens in the 28 car. And he just did about 4 somersaults there. And that brought out our 4th caution of the day. Stevens upside down. And guys, that was one hell of a crazy restart. We said old tyres, new tyres never works with less than 10 laps to go. But Alfala and Go both out of the race. They both took 4 tyres. But Ray Alfala in that number 2 car. We'll try and get ourselves a replay of what happened. It does look as though he got himself a little bit of a bump. He bumped a little bit there on the first phase of the restart. He couldn't get going. Then he got turned around. Not once, but twice. First of all, by Matt Spangler, who gave him a huge nudge in the rear. That sent him going. And then it was Jeffrey LePalm there who gave him the hit, which essentially turned him around and put him out of the race.
But at the same time, you have to watch at the fact that watching the replay of Matt Spangler bumping Alfala, you have to remember that from Ray Alfala's point of view, he had a good look at the slow-going car near the wall, but Matt Spangler did not have him. He in his eyes, in that restart, it was all clear, so he was flooring it, and at the time Alfala checked up, there was nowhere to avoid him.
JD, you know what this is going to be, don't you? It's going to be a 3-lap shootout.
Yeah, here we go, cowboy. Load your guns and saddle your pony. We're going to a shootout. But I tell you, looking up here in front, I think they were checking up for that 17 machine. Remember, right there on the restart, looks like he got a jump on the start and went right into the outside wall. And I think that's what caused this whole thing, guys. Everybody checking up behind him. And I'll tell you what, Ray Alfala, what a night he was having. Tim Terry, I guess you can go down to the food concession and get yourself a hot dog and a cold drink.
I tell you what, you know, I've seen so many times talk about a buffet car. Where's my dinner?
yeah, ETV, we're fortunate, you know what, but we haven't had the buffet for quite some time. Of course, we're probably a little bit low on the budget, but yeah, we've got a pretty good buffet table over at ETV Live. You got to come over and join us sometime, Will.
I think I might have to. But meanwhile, I say, under caution once again. Goldberg there, he got himself an early start there. He did, to be fair, a very interesting thing because he went early. He didn't want to bunch and pack up. I don't think, however, Stephen Gilbert in that second position was ready for that. And I think that the outside line was the one that just didn't get going at all there. And that's what caused, I think, that huge chain reaction. Guys swarming for position as that run down to turn number 1. Half the guys didn't even make it. We have a number of cars now scored as out of the race, including Ray O'Fara, who's very damaged right now. He is driving a very damaged car around the racetrack in that Pro Geek number 2 machine, and it looks as though that his bad luck at Texas Motor Speedway continues once again. But Dakota, a number of cars with severe damage right now.
Definitely a number of cars with severe damage. What I'm watching here is going to be this restart, guys. When these guys get going, they're going to be on old tires once again. A lot of the cars up front will still be on those old tires compared to some of the guys more towards the back. They'll be on just a little bit fresher tires, some 4 tires, some 2 tires back there. That's going to make things still interesting. And these guys up front being on old tires, it's really easy to spin the tires. And that's where we'll see an incident. I think we saw it last time where somebody spun the tires on the restart, ended up putting the car on the outside wall going backwards a few spots. We could very well see that again if these guys aren't careful here, guys.
I normally ask who people's picks are going to be at the start of the race. I've not even done that yet. 5 laps to go. Pick a man. JD, go.
Dalton Baldwin, that number 54 machine. I don't know, Cowboy. He just seems like the odd man out, but I'll put some money on the 54.
Dakota?
I'm going to put my money on the 55, spinning the tires and collecting everybody. And Morgan Schooley comes home with the win, guys.
Mr. Backman?
55, same here.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Backman, of course.
You know, we were having some fun during the pre-race, and I'll tell you what, you know, it's been said that Yoni doesn't talk a whole lot, but let me tell you something, Cowboy.
What?
If you could have joined,
Who said that?
That's what Will was telling me. But if you could have joined us for the yeah, we won't go into that on the air. I heard part of that before the pre-race, but I'll tell you something, these guys crack me up, and I tell you, we're looking at an ETV Live late night radio show here. If I can convince Will Vincent and Yoni Backman to put something together, I'll tell you what, Cowboy, we can have a hell of a good time on ETV Live radio. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Brian Schoenberg up in front, guys, in that 55 car. Gilbert, Dalton Baldwin, Randolph Chenoweth in that 50 machine. Will, he's been having some difficulties all night long here. We'll see what he's got. And then, of course, rounding out your top 5, Morgan Schooley. Let's see Morgan Schooley get to the front.
We're going to go on board with that 99 car. We're going to get GlacierTV gyro cam working in the last couple of laps of this race. I said it, it's going to be a 3-lap shootout here at the end of the Morgan Schooley 150 benefit event. A GlacierTV ETV Live special presentation here, and it is going to be row number 1, Brian Schoenberg and Stephen Gilbert. Row number 2, Dalton Baldwin, Randolph Chenoweth. Row number 3, Morgan Schooley and Brian Cischini. The pace car making that journey onto pit road for what will be the last time now in this race. Green flag is going to be back in the air. An early start there by Schoenberg once again. Stephen Gilbert going into the second position. Dalton Baldwin looking down to the inside as they come down into turn number 1. Chenoweth battling, Chenoweth getting turned around there. He will keep it.
Oh, big wreck!
And it looks as though that Schooley was involved in that. Caution is out. Guys, we have a race, and Schoenberg is going to win it here. And I'm just checking to see will that 99 car was able to get through without too much damage. Indeed he did. Lucky as hell there. But Schoenberg is going to be your race winner.
Stephen Gilbert with a the second place finish, and Dalton Baldwin with a solid third place finish here at Texas Motor Speedway. But I'll tell you what, a top 10 finish for that number 99 machine, Morgan Schooley, after qualifying 9th here at Texas. What a night for that young man. Of course, this is what it's been all about, Will. MorganSchooley.com. And I'll tell you, don't want to harp on it, but this young family certainly deserves some help here. And I mean, if you knew the full story, I've had a chance to talk to Morgan before the race and understand his predicament and everything. And I'll tell you, if there was ever a family that needed some help, this is it right here, guys. And if the iRacing, sim racing community can come together and help this young man, I think we ought to be doing this once a month, Cowboy. But I'll tell you what, it's been an awful fun time here at Texas Motor Speedway. Morgan, Sarah, and Parker tuning in, I'm sure watching. But I'll tell you, Brian Schoenberg picking up the trophy here tonight. Stephen Gilbert, Dalton Baldwin, all these guys, Will, all the way to the bottom. Let's go all the way to the bottom. Ian Hahn, Kevin, and I mean, I'm not even going to try to say that name. Kevin T, we're going to call him that 12 machine, 46 laps down. But everybody that participated tonight, awesome job.
Indeed, yeah. Yoni, go on, say it.
Kevin Trozinski.
There we are.
I guess you got to be finished. I guess you got to be finished to understand that last name.
No, it's actually Polish, but yeah, it makes it easier not to have an accent.
Yeah, sure.
Hey,
and don't tell me that you Finnish guys have accent, because we don't.
Hey, if you're not from East LA, I have no idea, dude.
I'll tell you what, if you want, I will put on the Kimi Räikkönen impression for the last lap of the race.
No, you don't.
Schoenberg is coming round to turn at number 3 and 4 once again. But I tell you what, after 100 laps of racing, that 55 car has been in the picture all race long. He started this race in the 2nd position. Afala had the upper hand for the majority of this race. He pitted late on. Schoenberg stayed out. And whenever you have a caution with 10 laps left to go, it's always a risk taking tyres, knowing that you're going to be right there in the middle of the pack. As the pace car rims around turn number 4 for the final time, coming past the start finish line, it is going to be Brian Schoenberg winning the Morgan Schooley 150 benefit event here, GlacierTV and ETV Live. Stephen Gilbert will come home in the 2nd position, Dalton Baldwin in the 3rd position, and the 29 car will come home in the 4th spot. But then rounding out your top 5, the 99 car, the car who we are all here for today, Morgan Schooley comes home in the 5th position, Matt Spangler in 6th, Chris Offinger in the 7th position, Drew Lanzaro in 8th, Fred Masters in 9th, and Josh Harrington round out your top 10.
I'll tell you what a great event here at Texas Motor Speedway, and I'll tell you, it's been a real pleasure joining GlacierTV. And who said that GlacierTV and ETV Live couldn't work together? And I think this is the 2nd time we kind of shocked the iRacing community. Will, I can remember when you and I talked to Yoni too. We ran a couple of ads on a couple of our broadcasts, and I started getting emails. What is this about ETV Live and GlacierTV? Are you guys getting together or what? It's like, hey, you know what? Why can't we work together?
It's going to be a Finnish LA love child. That's what I'm going to say. For more information about that, tune into what will be the ETV GlacierTV post race show. But tell you what, driver of the day, it's going to be a tough one. So many contenders here. Yoni, go.
Well, despite all the small slides and possible problems during the race, I would still go for Brian Tedeschi, the 29 car. Took 2 tires, huge gamble, and finished in 4th. Was involved in a few wrecks, but I still gave him the props for finishing in the top 4 with taking the gamble with tires.
JD?
You know, I'd have to agree with Yoni. I mean, Brian Tedeschi, I mean, who would have thought? You know, 2 tires here at the point where he took them probably wouldn't have worked. Didn't look like they were going to work because he went straight backwards. But to hang out, keep it moving, and with a top 5 finish, what a night for Brian Tedeschi in that 29 machine.
Dakota, pit road, how's it been for you?
I've got to go with actually Ray Alfala. He had a really, really strong car. It was really, dominant all race long. It just came down to, in the end, bad luck or a bad call coming down pit road. But, Ray Alfala, for me, I think he's got to be the driver of the race. I mean, he just drove so, flawlessly, really, here at Texas Motor Speedway. Just, again, came down to that pit road mistake.
In the meantime, we are going to start with our post-race interviews. I don't ever get to have a say in driver of the day because I am that awesome. But meanwhile, we're going to start with our 3rd place driver. Dalton Baldwin, one hell of a crazy race. You get yourself into the 3rd position. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take us through your race. It's been kind of up and down for you today in that number 54 car. You qualified here today in the 6th position. You've been running the top 10 solidly, but like last 10 laps, that decision not to come towards pit road, clearly you must have thought it was all going to turn into chaos like you did.
Well, yeah, I felt like everyone up there in the top 5 was just going to do whatever Ray didn't do. And he pitted, and I saw everyone stay out, so I decided to stay out. And then, yeah, like you said, it just turned into chaos up there, and I'm just glad I was in front of the wreck.
And the race itself, Texas Motor Speedway fixed it up. That car did look a little bit loose down on that inside line. A number of drivers catching the apron. Just how tough was it to wheel that car around at those incredibly high speeds here today, working in traffic?
Oh, it was incredibly difficult. If you weren't on it all the time and constantly pay attention, if something just distracted you for a second, you'd easily lose it. Especially getting down into turn 1, a lot of times it wanted to snap around, and just unexpectedly. And one time I almost lost it side by side with the 29 one time, but fortunately we kept it straight, the whole race, and stayed clean and got to the place finish.
Well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Anyone who you'd like to say thank you to at all?
Just like to, thank my mom and dad, and say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and thank everyone that supports me in everything I do.
Well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Dick, we're going to hand it over to you, and you are talking with your good friend Brian.
Brian. I'll tell you what, Brian Tedeschi, he finishes in 4th position here at Texas Motor Speedway. Brian, that 29 machine, what in the world made you decide to take 2 tires on that one pit stop?
I just knew that I knew everyone else was going to take 4, and I knew I had to try something because I was running basically from 15th to 11th the entire race, and I wanted to try to get up there, and I just gave it a whirl, and it seemed to work.
Well, I'll tell you what, starting outside, clear outside the top 10, back in 14th position, about the middle of the pack, what were you and your crew chief, what was the strategy to get that machine of yours up to the front?
My crew chief, Alan Lewis, just told me to be careful, keep your nose clean, and just keep on rolling the bottom, and just keep it on the bottom, and you'll eventually pick them off.
Outstanding. And I'll tell you what a night here at Texas Motor Speedway. Who made it happen for you, bud?
I just got to thank everyone over on Galaxy Motorsports, Alan Lewis, Travis Penny, Dustin Langert, and the entire team just for helping me out these past weeks, getting experience in the A car and the B car, and then especially Alan tonight for helping me get up there and calling all the strategy for me.
Outstanding. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good solid run here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Back to you, Will.
Meanwhile, we're going to welcome in our race winner from one Brian to another. Brian, congratulations, that 55 car onto Texas Motor Speedway and victory lane. Get yourself your pistols and fire them up. You've just won the Morgan Schooley 150. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. That's just a huge honor to win this race. It's just one of those things. I saw the sign-ups, probably about a week ago, and I just figured this was something too good to resist. I was lucky enough that it was actually on my day off from work, and just the cause itself was great. And Morgan's a fighter, and I mean, heck, he did a good job driving in the race too. He finished 5th there, but it's just one of those things where I kind of was probably about a 2nd place car to Ray. He pretty much had the better car, but there are some runs I could kind of close in on him a little bit, then he'd pull away from me a little bit, so they were kind of swapping fast lap times and all sorts of things. But then the second he pitted with 12 laps to go, I'm like, heck, I think that might have just been it right there. So I got kind of lucky. He decided to pit there.
Were you ever considering coming down on pit road, or was it always you were going to stay out thinking it would turn into chaos?
Oh, not a chance. I've learned from the DWC races that I've run and just everything on iRacing in general over the years that there's a good chance it was going to get chaotic. It's not always a guarantee, but I had my mind made when we pitted, around 30 or so laps to go that that was going to be the last time I was coming down pit road. And I actually even was able to tell Ray Alfaro, I was like, I'm not pitting again. You can do what you want, but I'm staying out. And I just had it in my head that I felt like that was the right thing to do. And I mean, heck, it turned out to be.
Well, congratulations. It was a crazy run to the flag there, getting yourself victory. I'm sure there's some people who want to say thank you to, so off you go.
Yeah, just thanks to Morgan and Fred for putting together this really great race. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it and everything. Might as well, I guess, just thank my DWC sponsors too, I guess. Roboto Revolution 3, Main Performance PC, .com, Pro Geek Consult, DDR Graphics. But most of all, I mean, just thanks to everyone that put this race together, and I'm definitely going to be tracking Morgan's progress and everything on the iRacing forums as well. And, you know, that's the main thing about this whole event. It's cool that, you know, there's the prizes and things to hopefully bring some people in, but at the end of the day, this is all for Morgan, and Morgan, just God bless you, and I'm wishing the best for you. And I mean, Dane, like I said before, you did a good job driving as well in the race, so that was good to watch, and it was good to be a part of. We had plenty of green flag laps, green flag racing as well. It was a very enjoyable race, and I'm definitely glad I signed up, and just thanks again to you guys for putting this event together, everyone that did it. It was really, it was put together well.
Cheers, thank you very much, and I think you summed up everyone's thoughts there in that as well. Chris 5 car, Victory Road here at Texas Motor Speedway, and JD, it looks like you've got one other person to talk to as well, in Randy.
Randy Chenoweth, I tell you what, pretty solid run for you tonight in the early going, but wound up finishing 3 laps down and qualified fairly decent, just outside the top 10, 12th position. Tell me about your race tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It started a lot better than I thought I was. Ran in the top 10 pretty much the entire race. Then on that, I think it was the second to last restart, when Raves hit, I decided to stay out as well. Basically from there, I knew I was going to be staying out. Put myself in 6th. Then the next yellow, when second place meant, I just shoot right around him and put myself 4th. But then I managed on the final restart to cut down on the 29 car and fit myself and end the race.
You know, we saw a lot of guys battling that apron line down there, and then even about halfway through the run, you know, looked like about maybe 20, 30 laps into the run, looked like the setup was starting to go away a little bit. We saw a lot of back end starting to come around. Were you fighting those loose conditions as well?
Yeah, the setup was very, very loose the entire race. I went 3 wide through the quad oval, sideways with other drivers a few times. It was the car was deep from the first lap on. So, I mean, it was just a lot of the race was just trying to hold on to the car. And when you got people like Morgan around you that are fighting you hard for position, it makes it pretty hard to hold on to the thing.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, good solid run here for that number 50 machine. Who made it happen for you, bud?
That was me. That's the news I'm working on getting on going on North American team. So if anyone's looking for a team in North America, road race and oval races, shoot me a message and we'll talk.
Absolutely. And that's Randolph Chenoweth and the number 50 machine. Back to you, Will.
Indeed, yeah, and of course we still have ourselves a couple of prizes to give out ourselves. Now the way we did this, what we did is we got a couple of penguins to sit around and pick out some random numbers, and we have 5
penguins.
$50. Yeah, penguins, not polar bears. Penguins, all the hard work.
That's Will's thing. Yeah, that's Will's thing. Don't blame on us.
It's actually Rob Sutherland's thing. I've just adopted it. But
I gotta hang out with you guys more often.
I know. 5 $50 iRacing gift certificates to give away. And JD, you have the list in front of you a little bit. So you go ahead and announce the first one.
I have the list.
You have, yeah. I just gave it to you. I tell you what, I'll get in here once again.
Oh, okay. I see it.
You see it?
I see it. Yeah, I see it now. Michael Wynn. He's going to pick up one of those gift certificates. Davey Wilson. He's also going to be getting one of those $50 certificates. Josh Harrington. Jason Stevenson, if I'm pronouncing that one right. And Kyle Guerry.
So congratulations, guys. You have got yourself a $50 iRacing gift certificate. Thank you very much to Tony Gardner over at iRacing.com for pledging that amount, $250 in total. For those of you who might be watching this broadcast who've never heard about iRacing before, the world's most realistic racing simulation. This is just one of the many things you can do on iRacing. Everything from the NASCARs through to the Indy cars, the F1 cars, GT racing, it is all here on iRacing. Head over to iRacing.com where you can get yourself 50% off your first year's membership. in the time being, we're going to have a little bit more of a chat with, first of all, Fred Masters and then Morgan Schooley. Fred, it's been a great race here today.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that came out and watched the race. It was an awesome race. I was happy to put it together.
Tough race. It's a very difficult race for you. You were up and down the field all over the course of the race. That Fleming car started in the 24th position. He ended up in the top 10 through like those last lap malaise, however. You've got to be impressed though, the fact you've had some great drivers in some great racing here today. Yes, we had 2 cautions at the end, but apart from that, it was pretty damn good racing.
Yeah, we had a lot of long green flag lap runs there, and I stayed out on the second to last caution with quite a bit of damage, and it ended up working out good for me. I ended up in the top 10, so.
And as far as this event is concerned here today, big picture, everything that you've raised, the coverage that we've gotten for Morgan, we've got to say today's been overall pretty good success.
Oh yeah, it's a huge success here. We did a great job. I think everybody came together, and like you guys were saying, the sim racing community always comes together when they need to.
And JD, you're going to have a chat with Morgan as well. Take it away.
You've had Morgan, good solid run for you tonight, and I'll tell you what a night here in Texas. But let's get a little more serious here. I mean, the whole event here tonight, sponsored by ETV Live and GlacierTV, or at least presented by ETV Live and GlacierTV here. You know, we're not going to go into the details about the insurance company and all of this and everything. The bottom line is you're fighting this disease. You're about to go through a stem cell transplant, and you need some help. And the sim racing community comes together in a special event here tonight. Does it really matter if it's $1 or $2 or $100? What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, just the confidence it gives me, having so many people behind me is really neat. Like I mentioned to you earlier, it really helps shift our focus from worrying about making payments on one thing to then try to go into a stem cell transplant. You really need to have your head in the game, and you guys help eliminate that worry to where we can have the right focus and frame of mind and get this beaten over with, and watching everybody come together, and you know, as sim racers we all have fun doing it, and that was awesome.
You know, I'm encouraged by what this young man says, Will. I mean, he's talking about focus. He's talking about keeping his mind looking forward, looking ahead, and never looking back. And I'll tell you, Morgan, you know, I mean, this is a fantastic thing. Since I've been involved in the sim racing community, this is an unusual group of people. I've not known another organized sporting organization that comes together as much as the sim racing community does. And it really doesn't matter what the cause is. It's just a cause. Tonight just happens to be your cause, and they came together for you. And I'd put a challenge out there for GlacierTV and Fred Masters. I think we should do this thing again soon, and do as much as we can. I've talked to Morgan before the race, guys. We spent some time together. Pretty much, talked about what he's going through, why he's going through what he's going through, what his family's going through. It's not a good thing. And we can talk the healthcare thing in the United States to death, and Obamacare and all that, but it all comes down to one thing and one thing only. And that's helping this young man and his family get through this difficult phase in his life, and do as much as we can to help him out. So, but Morgan, all the best to you, my friend, and look forward to speaking to you real soon again. And all our prayers and wishes are with you and your family.
Yeah, thank you, and thank everybody who helped put this together today. And heck yeah, I came away with a 5th, and those guys weren't giving it to me.
And to kind of add on to what JD was just saying, that, you know, I've been in the sim racing community for about 4 or 5 years now, and you're completely right, JD. This is a community that, you know, we bicker, we argue, we call each other out. You see people wreck each other on the racetrack, but there are times when people rally together. I remember Joey Schmidt last year, for example, literally having a heart attack on his steering wheel, and the way the community rallied together with him then last year was sensational. What they're doing right now with Morgan, again, sensational. You know what? People put their differences to one side for the bigger cause, the bigger reason, because at the end of the day, we're sim racers, but we're also human. And I think that is the important thing as well. At the end of the day, behind that steering wheel, behind that computer screen, there is someone else right now who has real world issues. And you know what? Most of us can count ourselves lucky that we are fine, we're happy, and we're healthy, but there are people who aren't. And I think, you know what, JD, I'm going to agree with you as well. You know, anything that we can do, GlacierTV, TV, I think, you know, we can help make, if we can help make things better, then we're just doing our little bit. Don't forget, one more time, morganschooley.com. If you can donate the equivalent of 1 cup of Starbucks, that would be tremendous. If you can donate more, even better. We'd like to give a very big shout out to everyone who's been able to organise this race here today, from Fred Masters all the way down to everyone in iRacing who's been able to help put prizes together, all of the community to making this a huge, great event. Tiana, who's been staying up at, I don't even know what time it is in Finland anymore, to do the 2:30 in the morning. Yoni as well. JD, to you, your guy, Dakota at ETV. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. I've been Will Vincent. That's been JD Webb. See you later. Bye-bye.